Okay, everyone, so welcome back. Today we are doing a totally new design, but I also want to give credit where credit is due. So I saw this design. First I saw a photo of it, and then I actually went and dug around to try to find the tutorial for it to figure out how it was done and what all they used. So mine's a little bit different in the fact that well, I'll basically define for you what all the differences are, but we are making an umbrella wreath. So Michelle at Monkey's Creations was the person who came up with this initial concept. And then, like I said, I'm going to take it and make it my own. She used a refurbished old style umbrella handle that she cut down and modified to fit her board. So we've always been wondering what to do with the old candy cane wreaths, right, that Dollar Tree came out with. Sadly, I can't find those. I do have two of them. I don't know where they are. So I had to take the candy cane form from the old style way of doing it, modified that to work with this design. So let me go over all the materials for you so you know what all we will be doing. So basically you're going to get, let me make sure, it is the 16-inch, let me turn down my volume on my phone. Hold on a second, I'm trying to find the volume. Okay, so it was a 16-inch Unique in the Creek flower board that I cut in half, like right down the middle, so that you still had usable holes on all the sides. So Steve just took a scroll saw, drew a line down the middle, cut it in half for me. So this is what we're working with, just this half. This is going to be the canopy of our umbrella. And we aren't using the outside holes. We are only using the inside ones. And if I flip this over, you're going to see that we are using what they call shared holes. So you're going to have like the first one on the outside just goes through the middle to the outside, and then you're going to connect them. So this is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So skip the holes on the outside and start running your pipe cleaners, or not pipe cleaners, zip ties through every single one to the next row on the outside. Obviously, I'm leaving the center open so that we can attach the handle. Once the handle's attached, then we can come in and add the rest of the zip ties to fill this completely, because we don't want to attach the handle to the back because it wouldn't provide a flush fit. So we are going to be adding it to the top, and then we're going to be putting our petals over the top of this. So you will need, depending upon what colors you want to do for your umbrella, ours is going to be this lemon chiffon lemon, and it's going to also be an iridescent white. So depending upon which one's which, I'm doing more predominantly yellow. You will need 24 yellow, and you will need 20 of the white to make all your petals to go all the way around. So it's going to have 1 row, 2 row, 3 row, and then just this middle section here. Okay, I will show you how to make your petals. You will need, depending upon the thickness of your deco mesh. My yellow was really super thin, so I had to double it. So I ended up using 2 rolls of yellow and then 1 roll of white. And that was just because the yellow was so see-through. So you will need at least 1 roll of whatever colors you decide to use. If you decide to do 2 colors, obviously 1 of each. If you do all the colors of the rainbow, then you would need, what is that, 6 or 7 different colors of deco mesh, but it's a great leftover use for this particular form. So, okay, so let me make sure. Hi Audrey, hi Kate, hi Anna, hi Susan, Hi, Sharon. Hi, Pam. Okay, so board's all done. What I'd suggest you do is every single time you have one of your pipe cleaners, just label it. Like I did yellow, white, yellow, white, yellow, white, yellow, white, on and on and on. And then I did the same thing here, starting with yellow all the way through, yellow all the way through, yellow all the way through. Don't know if we're going to use quite all of these, but we will definitely see how it all comes together. So how did I modify my candy cane? Because I can't find the new size for Dollar Tree. So this is the old one, and I want to say this is 21 inches. I think the new one is 16 inches, so it's quite a bit smaller. I think it's missing, like one of these is a little bit shorter, and then it kind of cuts off right about here. So if you don't have the new Dollar Tree candy cane form, you can use the old one. What I did is I kind of told Steve all I wanted was the 2 middle rings here, right? But what he ended up doing was he cut with wire cutters. He cut it here, 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 here. He just cut all the welds to the outside, so the outside piece. And then I think he clipped it. He clipped one end here and one end here. So I have, it's shorter here and shorter here. So basically he started here, cut, 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 right? That's gone. Cut, 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 this is gone. So you basically have a form that looks like that. And then he went to the outside and split these. So what I was left with was a very small, very much thinner form. And I just covered it with chenille. But as you can see, there's only 2. And if you look here, the same form, all he did is remove the outside. So I was left with the inside too, only, if that makes sense. So I just covered it with chunky chenille yarn because I love how this feels. I left the ends so you could see that I really did cut the ends off, and then he just filed the tips so they weren't exactly short or too sharp. This is the chunky yarn I bought from, who did I get this from? Michael's. I'm just gonna remove a small section and finish up this section here. So I usually kind of tie in just like this. I have my glue gun just to finish off the edges because I wanted it pretty thick. So when I go and I zip tie it all in there, it's nice and tight, okay? I'm gonna put the ends through, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside, and then I'm just gonna simply kind of sew the end closed. So just kind of go in, Lordy. Okay, there's my end. There we go. I'm going around, going around, going around. We're making sure there's no sharp edges and that you cannot see that there's a frame in there, even though we know that there is. This is kind of like what I did with the chenille pumpkin. So I'm just covering the end, kind of going over to the side. Pop that in. See how it covers the entire end? I don't see the end piece there. I'm gonna keep coming around until I get this one all completely covered. This way I can move it aside if I need to. Okay, here's my end. I'm gonna go ahead and take and cut this down, and I am going to actually glue that end piece as soon as I find it. There we go. Hot glue gun, set to low, right on the wreath form itself. I'm gonna go ahead and tuck that piece in there. That'll go ahead and hide that end, and then we'll trim this off and glue that down as well. So this way we have a really good soft plushy coverage. So here's the end. We go up, go round, and then I'm going to hot glue right to my rail. and tuck my end piece there. Okay, so that's how you do it. So all I did is just go all the way around the whole thing until I got up to the end, and then I did the same thing. I do a vertical stitch, tuck it in, stitch it up. So now our umbrella is fully fastened. I thought the candy cane would be easier. I agree, Gloria, and I don't know about how many of you, I don't have an umbrella with a round handle. I have the old-fashioned little shrink compactable umbrellas, and most of mine, anyway, I think the old ones that I do have are all straight, so they don't have the traditional umbrella handle, but super simple for you to do. And then this is actually going to fit right inside here, and we'll be laying the petals that would normally be going around the wreath on each of these sections. We're going to be laying them on top so that they are zip tied, and then this part is camouflaged in the process, if that makes sense. Okay, so let me show you how we do the petals. So we have our umbrella handle ready. We have the half of our 16-inch large flower board cut in half. Not using the outside holes. Actually, before I would do that, let me make sure we have a hanger on here. So I just have yellow and blue, 5/8 inch ribbon. I'm going to pop that right through. We're going to go ahead and make sure we have a nice little hanger. Again, I'm the person who doesn't like to see that there's a hanger there. So nice and tight. Snip that off, and we're all good. So hanger's intact, so we're good to go there. So you can always make sure that you put your the ends towards the inside and just have the hanger to the outside. So let me show you how we're making the petal. It is 10-inch Deco mesh cut to 10-inch pieces. You will need a lot of zip ties. You will need 2 for every piece. So we're doing 44 pieces, so that means 88 zip ties total. So what you will do, wood burning tool, obviously, to cut your Deco mesh. You are going to turn it on the diagonal. You are going to go halfway to the middle, okay? Bring your corner to the middle, right about there. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take your other corner and go all the way up to the top, right here, okay? And then you're going to turn it this way, and you're going to fold it in half, just like this. Ends don't have to be perfect, okay? So flipped it over, and then what you're going to do is right here in the middle section, you're going to grab it, you're going to pull this side in and push this side in. So you have a nice little cute triangle like that. We're going to place first zip tie here. Ooh, I hate these new zip ties, they're so small. And then we're going to cut the end off. Okay. Then what you're going to do is, these are separated by layers. Remember, one came over the top. You're going to put your finger inside, just like this. Here's your loop. You're going to get another zip tie. You're going to place it right in between where you folded it over. So just like that, there's my little hole. Fold it over. You're going to bring this all the way up as high as you can go. We're going to move our zip tie up, and it kind of forms a little kind of heart shape almost. You're going to zip tie that in just like that and snip that off, and that becomes, we're using this side, we're using the back side of the petals, but that's what the inside should look like, a little bit like that. So nice and pretty, super simple. And then what you will do is, just like before in the other one, you're going to snip the excess off, because we can't have so much stuff on the inside. There just won't be enough placement for it. So let me show you how to do the petal again. We are going to take our 10-inch by 10-inch Deco mesh piece wood burn tool. You're going to go halfway to the middle. Okay, then you're going to take this end and go all the way up to the top. Okay, you're going to fold it in the middle. So it goes, what is that, right to left. I just bring my ends together. In the middle, we're going to grab, and then you're going to pull this side in, and that's where the zip tie is going to go. So just like this. Snip that off. Then remember we have that little pocket. You're going to go ahead and put your hand through so you can feed your zip tie all the way through. Go ahead and get your zip tie started. You're going to fold and pull that up. Move your zip tie up so we can secure that little heart shape, that little, I don't know what you want to call it, little doot-doot. That's an official term, doot-doot. It just makes for a nice little indent. Nice little petal shape. And then remember we're using the back side. About a finger's length here. Cut the ends off so that we have enough space so they don't all get super crowded on the inside. Okay. Let's go ahead and start to assemble. I'm going to take these, move these out of the way. This is why you order zip ties in 1,000 quantities. You will always find a useful purpose for them. So we are starting with our yellow. So I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to move this one out of the way. We're putting our yellow in first. We're going just past where we have our zip tie in. Nice and snug. I'm going to go ahead and cut these off as I go. Then we're going to do white right in the next shared hole. Always making sure that our petals are facing down. Remember, we don't want the back showing. The white's going to be tough because you've got a bigger hole on the outside, but we can get it. And then we're going to go to yellow right inside. Okay, then white. I don't know why I keep opening my trash can and closing it. It's just habit, I think. And I'm really trying to get the white down as tight as possible because that does have a fairly large gap closing those together. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put yellow in. And then our white. Moving that one out of the way. Trying to get that one down as tight as I possibly can. Yellow. And then go. Trying to keep them all as even as I possibly can. Then we're going to do white. Keeping them all nice. Yellow. Group. Remember, always make sure your pieces are laying flat. I absolutely love the way this looks when it's all finished. So, trying to make sure we get, I like to keep on the white, keeping the plastic part of the zip tie to the top so they don't slide past. There is yellow. white. Let's make sure end is facing up. That way it won't slide past. Yellow. See why it's important to load your board first. And then our white. Move my zip tied edge to the top. Yellow. And a white. And I must have snipped my white that was through there because it just kind of came through. But that's no big deal. We'll just run this back through. Make sure end is facing up because we have that really big gap. And yellow to finish this out. Just like that. Doesn't that look so pretty? Just a nice little, looks like rays of the sun too. Okay, we're gonna go into the next hole. We're starting with our yellow here. Oh, I did the wrong hole. Hold on. I grabbed the wrong one. Meant to grab this one because it's those shared outside holes. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one on. I was like, why is it such a big gap? And then I'll feed another white through. So these are shared hole spaces. In and up. There we go. Now we can add our white. Now the holes are starting to get smaller, so those are nice. A yellow. And our white. And our yellow. And then remember we have the gap because that is going to line up with our umbrella handle. That's where our umbrella handle is going, is right up the center. So these are so nice, so pretty. Okay, do I want to put the umbrella handle in first? I'm gonna try to work around it so we don't have to do that until the very, very end. So I'm gonna start on this side and work my way back. Oh, that's nice, Audrey. Yes, peacock, turkey, definitely. You could definitely do that using the same technique and make a turkey or a peacock. You know what? That would be really pretty because I have the other half of that board and I have another peacock sign. So you may have inspired another creation. That would look really pretty. Let's save that one. I like it. It's kind of wide. And so white. And then yellow. Save the fluffier, fatter ones for the inside. Okay. See why we cut all these down? So that we would have space availability for those. I'm coming back over here to do the third row. So we're always trying to keep the pattern the same, even though here it's going to kind of get shorter. This one's a little bit of a stretch. And I'm going to do the same on the opposite side. Put it in here. There's our yellow, white, and yellow. Okay, and then we just have the two on the end. I'm going to wait till we get our umbrella handle in. So this is what it looks like so far. We're going to go ahead and figure out how to wire in the umbrella handle. So the first thing I want to do is go in to my shared hole and then up, because I'm trying to grab the inside rail to the candy cane right here. So this strictly is for grabbing my handle. So I'm going to attempt to go through my chenille stem so I can zip tie that in right in here. Nice and tight. Do the same to the other side. We're going to go up. It's kind of nice to have the whole frayed. Oop. There we go. I guess cat should actually go with the head of the zip tie down and then up through the middle. Right in here. Nice and tight. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach two down here and then two down here. That way we know for a fact our umbrella is going nowhere. So I'm going to lift it back up on the back. This is where I attached it. So I am going to go right in here. Here's my down hole. And then I'm just going to kind of found that one. Oh, that way I did it the wrong way. I always do that with these zip ties. I don't know why. I think it's because the heads are so small that I'm always spinning them. Back up and through. There's that one. I don't think this lightweight umbrella handle is going to go anywhere. It's nice and sturdy. So we're going to go right down here, making sure I have my pipe cleaner, not pipe cleaner, zip tie in the right spot. We're going to zip tie that in there. Nice and tight. Look how pretty. And then we're going to do the same down here. There's one here. And then we're going to go up through the middle. Let's see how difficult that will be. Not very difficult. Zip tie here. Flipping over. It's probably overkill on the zip ties, but you know what? Better to be safe. Going back up the shared hole. And then we're going to zip tie that in. So we've secured it 6 different places, all in those inside 3 rows. Just like that. And now we'll see how well it's going to cover up our inside spots. So I need to finish connecting my dots on the 3rd row. So we need here and here. Oh, we had more than that. Let me look. 1st row, 2nd row. So we're going here to the middle, and that'll be a white. So we're going to have a white here. Like this. We will have another white here, and then we're going to have our yellow on the top as we start to get that all zip tied together. Okay, so I need to get my zip tie in. So shared hole, again, kind of like what we did for the zip tie. We're going to go in. Here is our white. I'll tuck that down once we get that in. This is where we are doing white. Nice and tight. Okay. We're going to go ahead and put our yellow in, which is going to go right over the top. So I'm connecting this space here. I need to do it this way. There we go. So we got it through. We're going to go through the shared hole space. I'm going to try to get it on the other side of my, the rail, the candy cane rail part that goes in here. Nope, yellow. Pay attention, girl. It's yellow. Nice and tight. That we can go ahead and tuck back down into our candy cane. Let's go white on top. And then we have to attach our other white. Okay, so shared hole. Again, when we flip it over, actually you can see it's right here. We're going down in this one. We're going to move our chenille stem up. It's right there. We're going to attach our other white right in here. nice and tight. Let somebody else figure out how we got all that in there, right? How we got our little stem in, but we did it. Okay, so now we need to do the same thing. We're gonna attach our white to the second row. So here, the nice thing about the chenille is it goes right through that chenille. Here's our white. Remember, you always got to get it below where the zip tie comes. Okay, there's that one. And then we're gonna do the one over here. Let's find the one in the middle first, right here. That's a big middle. So let's kind of see where we pop in. I found the hole. Hang on. I feel it. There we go. I always got to get the head part in, and here's the up for our yellow. It's going to go right on top, just past where we zip tied that in. Look at that. We're camouflaging that handle. It's working, I'm telling ya. Okay, here, shared hole, straight down. Make sure my zip tie is turned around. I'm going right back up that shared space. And it pops back out. We're going to lay that in. Nice and tight. Look how pretty. We're filling in the gaps. I'm gonna lift this. Kind of push that one in. I didn't want to see the little fuzz hanging out the bottom. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish the bottom row because we haven't done any of the bottom. So we're doing zip it in. And I've got to find the shared hole. It's kind of closer up in here. Well, nope. I've got to go back in here. Have the white one in the way. There we go. I always want to skip that hole. And then this will come straight up. There it comes. Maybe not. Oop. I'm trying to find out where this hole is, so we can find the head. I think I'm going too low. Yeah, it's up here. It's up here. This will be a white. Let's get that up and under. Just like so. It's getting harder and harder to find the holes, but that's the challenge, right? Of making this work. Oh, I did it. Nice. So right in here, right up the center, Might just be a bit of a fuzz blocking that. Figure out where that's at. Oh, here it is. It's kind of caught. Kind of caught. Here is our yellow. Go right in here. So your last row will probably be the most challenging for you because we're getting all these to kind of fit around the handle. And then, you know, we'll be able to come in and just clean this stuff up and keep it all nice and trimmed. But I'll do that once we get all these other pieces in. So let's find out. This one, see, we're going here. Let's see if we can find that. Right there. Looky there. We came down and we're going to come up through this shared hole on the other side. And what I'm going to do for this piece right here is I'm going to get rid of all that nasty stuff that's in my way. So I can lay this here. Let's get that through. We're almost done. I've never done this before, so this is my first. Michelle's was much easier because she just had a really thin flat pole to work with. And I'm doing it with the candy cane form. And I'll show you really quick because I have to make one more yellow petal. So initially when I bought my yellow, there's varying colors of yellow. There's like the bright yellow, there's sunflower yellow. I liked this when it was on the roll, but when I took it off, I was like, wow, this isn't going to cover very well. So then I took a 20-inch piece, folded it, and tried to do it that way, and it looked horrible because it just didn't line up. So I figured, okay, it needs to be doubled. So I line these up as best as I can. And then we're going to do this same fold. Again, as best as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. All the way over. Fold it in half. You're going to grab down here in the middle, like a pinch, and then bring your sides in. So you have like a nice little triangle. And then we're zip tying down here. Okay. And then we're going to, remember, there's your hole in the middle, how they fold it over. So I just put my hand there so my pipe cleaner doesn't get stuck in the little gaps of my mesh. You get it started and then you kind of create a little heart shape. So you bring your fingers up as high as they will go and then get your zip tie. So it just makes like a little, it's kind of cool the way it looks on the inside, like a little heart. And then we're going to cut the excess off here. Should have probably been throwing all this stuff away as I went. Do that real quick. Here's all my zip tie ends. As half of them fall to the floor. Okay, and then we're going to take this last one. I'm going to attempt to find where the other half of this went. And that's hiding really well in there. It went under one of my other zip ties. So let's feed that in, back down through the hole. Remember, and we just go to the outside, right here. And we're adding our yellow. I think that piece might be a little too big. Right in here. Make sure the petal faces So the heart shape is facing down. Zip tie that in. Okay, and let's try to keep that as even as possible. So we still have this, so this becomes, what do you do with that end? How do you cover that up? How do you hide the mechanics of what you've done without disrupting the entire rest of your design? So Michelle chose to do, she added like 3 large size raindrops right here. I am actually going to create a bow, and we're going to put a, what is it? It's a boy, like baby shower bow right here with a nice little embellishment in the inside. So we are going to wrap this. So I have it's a baby boy. And the only reason I picked baby boy is because the handle of my umbrella is blue. So that would make it feel like it's a baby boy. We're going to trim this off. And we'll dovetail the ends. So just wire edges together. Just like so. And now the lid just goes down by itself. Okay, so I need to figure out how far do I want that to come, which is not very far because I don't want to really ruin the illusion. Maybe a little bit longer, just a touch, like right there. So let me do this. So this is 7 inches. So I'm going to do a 4-inch loop, which means I need 8 inches. So here to here, going to bring it in, going to do a twist. I'm going to measure another 8 inches, bring it in, do a twist. Now I'm going to go 3.5, which is 7. Bring it in, do a twist, 7 inches, bring it in, do a twist, and then we're measuring out, I think I said 7.5 inches. For the tail. And I'm going to put a pipe cleaner on it. Just like so. Looky that, I'm getting forced into doing hand-tied bows now. Let's do them like so. Since I'm not using my bow dabber, I just winged it. So there's my tail. We're going to take a little bit off here because it was 7 inches. Do our dovetail right there. Super cute, right? And then this is going to go right through the chenille stem. Let's see if we can hit the board and get it to come out the bottom somehow. Let's try going here and here. Let's bring that down. Just like so. I might want to add a couple more loops. Let me kind of play with that and see what we think. Maybe not. Looky there. Looky there. Look how pretty that is. Super simple. Baby shower wreath. Embellishment. So I have a couple embellishments. So I have a ton of baby shower stuff. And this is sad because this is the first baby shower wreath I've made. So you could choose to go with a rubber duck, which would be adorable. But he's kind of big. I don't know how we would get him to be like flat duck. Like he needs to be a flat duck in there. But he would be absolutely adorable. We could put a little baby bear. But I love the duck better. We could do a little baby clothespin. We could do pacifier like that. We could wire that into the bow so that that becomes our center. Little plastic pacifier. There's even like a little baby blue one. It's all cut up there, like a little baby blue. What do you guys think? Little baby hat, like that. Super cute little things. You can even get really creative if you wanted to. I have a whole bunch of these little diaper pins. We could, I don't want them to fall in the inside because they just kind of slide down, but we could do like a little diaper pin. You could glue those to that. You could kind of come in and glue that one there. Let's see if I have another one. I have all the wrong sizes. Super small ones. One. Let's see. Oh, here's another one. Look at how cute that would be. So you can do like that one, like do, I think like, we could do that one and that one if we wanted to, like little diaper pins and make it a super cute little wreath. What do you guys think? This case says safety pin. You like the scattered pins? See, there's other things too. You could, technically you could put like the initial into the baby. We could even do something like that. Look how cute that is. Let's see if we can cut that off. So I don't have the giant stick in there, but like that. Look how cute. Little baby stroller. I can put that in there. So, haven't decided what I wanted to do just yet. This is always the hardest part, but it's also the funnest part. Also, you could do raindrops. So, I have pre-made my raindrops, and I'll show you how I did this. So, I took foam, and I made a template for my raindrops so we can actually have those kind of like, let me stick these on. They wouldn't be in the same spot that I would put them in, but we have that like that. We could do one there. We can do that. I even have little ones that we can kind of tuck those in. Whoop. Up there. There's that one. And maybe have something come down here so you have like little raindrops. Maybe that's like overkill on the raindrops, but let me show you how you make these. So, super simple. Because I was like, I need a template. I need something that's like gonna give me consistency all the way across the board with the raindrops. I'm just gonna flip that one back up because it needed to right side itself. That kind of looks cute. You could even attach fishing wire to the end and take two of them, for example, like this one and this one, put your fishing wire through, put them back to back, and then hang them so that they would kind of hang. It'd be super cute for the door. But how do you make them? Okay, so fold an index card in half because you need a template. You need something that's the same on the both sides. So this takes me all the way back to arts and craft time in the 5th grade. And we know that we need a teardrop shape. So we're going to start right up here at the top. And we're just going to go like so. Then you're going to get your scissors. And you're going to cut that shape out like that. There's that. We're going to open that up. And if you don't want it, you know, if you want it more rounded at the bottom, then just kind of round it so that you have like a cardboard template. I think I liked it better the way I had it. I'm kind of making it more leaf shape. I'm gonna try again. The one that I did came out perfect the first time. Let's try that and see if that works. It needs to be more straight at the top and then rounded at the bottom. Ta-da! There you go. Okay, so there's my little droplet, and that's honestly how I did it. So I just cut it out of this, and then let me cut a piece of this. So I went to Michael's. I bought the little foam pieces, and we'll just cut this one out so it's easier to manage. These are like $2.49 for a sheet that's like this size. So we take our little teardrop, place it on our foam. You're going to trace it so that all of your shapes are exactly the same size. And then go around the bottom. Okay, just so you can see where you need to cut it. Then you're going to cut it out. You could use paper, but it's not going to last if it gets the slightest bit wet. So will your little raindrops. They'll just kind of disintegrate and fall apart. So just like so. Okay, so you have your little raindrop. I just took I didn't have a paper plate. I just took a regular plate. Mod Podge actually comes in a extreme glitter edition. So shake it up. Again, Michael's. I want to say it's like $5.50 for this. Pull this off, and then you are going to take a small paintbrush. Okay, so we use a little foam brush. Just kind of dip it in there, and then we're just going to brush it on light, very light. And if I pick this up, you will see it has sparkles in it. But if you're like me and you really want to overdo the sparkles, then you also pick up sparkles while you're at Michael's. And you just tap the iridescent sparkles on your Mod Podge while it's drying. And then when it's done, you have these little suckers. They're all sparkle, they're all foam, so they're really super nice. And then you can attach them wherever you want on your wreath. So this does not take that long to dry. I think, let's see what it says. Dry 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes between. And then you could do an acrylic sealer, like a clear coat over the top if you want. But I just kind of put these all together in little, this is how you do it kind of thing. So there we have that. So you have like your little teardrops if you want. Like I said, we can do baby. How in the heck can I get Mr. Duck in there? Let me see. Let us see. Let's do surgery with a metal skewer. Let's see what metal skewer will do. These are so nice. He cleaned out my drawer. Cleaned it out so good I can't find anything now. Metal skewer. Okay, let's try. Let's try poking a hole in him. Ooh, lordy. This is where you almost want to take something hot. But we can get it all the way through. Voila. And then let's get some floral wire. The thick stuff. We'll see if we can get him all the way through. That'll be the challenge, because that'll be super cute to attach the deck, right? I know I will figure out how to do it. Just might take me a minute. Trying to keep my finger, look at that, right all the way through. And let's collapse his back end. Let's make his front end a little fluffy. Okay, Mr. Duck. Let's get you fluffier in the front. Okay. Let's try to collapse his back end. Just the back. The back of the duck. Because look, his front looks fine. We just need to find a way that we can put his little duck body up. There we go. Just like so. And then we can attach him. Oh, he's gonna work perfect. Okay, let me take the bow off so that we can attach the duck to the bow, because the bow was super easy to attach. So we're attaching the duck to the bow. Okay, duck and a bow. We just created our own embellishment. Duck and a bow. Just need his bottom to come up so he sits. I think it just pulled him out of the center. There he goes. Okay, let's put duck in a bow. Back in and back in. I swear he needs bigger eyes. His eyes are so small. Look at that. We did a duck and a bow. How cute. How cute is that? Just like that. He's adorable. And then, like I said, if you wanted to, we could do diaper pins here. I don't know. I'm thinking if it's an umbrella, then shouldn't it have raindrops? Like, whoop, it slid in. Like that. Still slides in. And then I'm trying not to make them the same, because rain is never the same. Where are the other ones? They all fell on the underside. Like we could do it like this. And then we'll attach. I know there's one more. There's the other two. And then maybe attach one somewhere down there. What do you think? Gloria said, I know if I had to make a wreath for a boy, I would do this one. I would do this, I think, for any baby, because you could get, there are little personalized plates that you can fill out. You can handwrite in the baby's name, the birth date, the weight, and the time, and then you could just punch holes in that and attach that right in the little crook. You know, that would probably be roughly about maybe 5 inches, 6-inch little sign. And you can have them custom made, or you can just, you know, buy them from people on Etsy who are selling them and doing that. But yes, this is absolutely adorable. I love it. Right, like the raindrops, because the duck can go swimming. Super cute. Yeah, because the whatchamacallit, the diaper pins, I'm trying to get them to stay so I can see what they look like. They kind of just want to slide. They slide in everywhere. See, they tuck in. I mean, you could get super technical. You could actually, like, you can make this as a baby shower gift and actually put real things in there. Like, you could put a little duck in. You could tuck in, you know, little baby pacifiers. Like maybe you do a pacifier there, little diaper pins or whatever. And you could turn this entire thing into an adorable little gift. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue my little foams on, my little foamies. So just like that. We'll attach those. So we have the little teardrops. There's that one. I'm trying not to make them all symmetrical. Put that one down there. What do you guys think of the design though? I know it's a lot of prep work to do something simple, but to create something from nothing, like you're basically taking 2 individualized wreath forms and creating a unique look. And like I said, you could do the peacock, just do peacock feathers, do your wreath sign right in the center. We did that one. I think I'm going to do this one a little bit higher up. I don't like them all looking the same. I'm trying to put them. And because they're foam, they'll last longer than paper would. I kind of like it like that, just the smaller pieces. I mean, we can, I don't like to put them on the handle, but they could definitely be, you know, raindrops that hang down from the bottom. But I hope you guys liked the tutorial. Super fun to play with. You know, it's definitely a great gift that you can embellish, you know, for somebody special. I'm always about no symmetrical items, like everything in its own little individual spot. But I hope you guys like this tutorial. You have a straight pan to hold it in place to see it. Isn't that super cute? I know everyone's like upper left. They're absolutely adorable. I think I don't know where I'd put that one. Maybe somewhere in the middle, maybe like right there. Just so it's like raining. I kind of like that. Oh, I did that one. Okay, so I'm gonna commit to the yellow. Yellow! And then we're doing blue. And then we're done. You can see the mess I've made. I've made a mess.
That's cute.
As Stu comes in and looks. They've been helping me come up with some innovative, cute little looks for him. Mm-hmm. So we decided to add baby duck.
That's cute.
To the center.
It's your first trial, so.
Right? So this is my first one. I've never, ever, ever made this before. So I can't wait to go outside, take a photo. Like, we came up with ideas like you could totally turn the gift, this wreath, into like a gift, and you could put like diaper pins in, little tuck pacifiers in, you know, as a gift, and then put a baby announcement sign right in here that they can handwrite in. But yeah, super cute, right?
I like it because it also creates the 3D.
It's very
it's
3D.
Flat and it kind of poofs out.
And hiding the frame worked really well with the chenille stem. So it just took some finagling, but thankfully because we're using zip ties, it pops through the chenille really easily. So super fun. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoy this. It's so much fun to make, and that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, let me know. So I think that the Dollar Tree new candy canes are going to work perfectly. I just couldn't find mine for the life of me today. I know I'll find it eventually. I have 2 of them. But I think that candy cane will be perfect. And then you can make a whole bunch of these for like April. Like you could do April showers, bring me flowers. Like you can have raindrops and then maybe a bouquet of flowers down at the bottom. It'll be fun. All right, I'll see you guys on Friday. Totally new design. Can't wait to show you another new design. So don't forget, make sure you click on the event. Click yes. You are going to attend so that you get the notification. All right, everyone, have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.